And Keith, I feel like you got a clip of y'all beloved coach, y'all favorite coach, y'all best coach in franchise history in July feels the need to defend Lamar and himself.
And you guys played sports. They used to tell you don't read your press clippings, right? We don't really have press clippings anymore. We got the phones and the computers. Press clipping, at least if it was bad, you could throw it up and throw it in the trash can. Now I want to. So I do flip through them, to be honest with you. I read the stuff. I see the guys say what they say on the shows. At least I get clips of them because they come up on your phone. And the good ones I just scroll past because, that's candy. That's not real. But the bad ones, it's like we take it personally. Lamar's a guy all his life. Lamar Jackson has been a guy who's been answering those same questions. I'm talking about since he was a kid, junior high, high school, college, the draft, the success he's had in the National Football League, and it still comes up. Okay? And he's still growing. He's got a growth mindset. He's going to get better and better, no doubt. But what does he have to do to prove himself to some people, right? And so the thing for me is it's talking about vision again. There's a vision. And I believe the Ravens and we've always had a vision for Lamar Jackson. It started with Lamar's vision and his mom's vision when he said he was going to be a quarterback. He was going to be a quarterback in high school. He was going to be a quarterback in college. He was going to be a quarterback in the National Football League. And we bought into that. We embraced it. We built an offense for it at 19. We're building another offense for it in 23 and 24 going forward, right? The next iteration of our offense around Lamar Jackson. Because in my opinion, the vision for Lamar Jackson, and it's a vision, it's something you see it like it's already happened. You can see it like it's already been done. The victory has already been won when you pour into a vision. And the vision that we have together is that Lamar Jackson is going to become and be known and be recognized as the greatest quarterback ever to play in the history of the National Football League. That's the vision, all right? It's going to happen by Lamar, his work ethic, and his brilliant talent, by all of us pouring into that effort together as a teamwork, and by the grace of God and God's goodwill. That's how it's going to happen. And I believe it like we've already seen it.
Okay. Before you get into anybody's reaction, let me give my reaction. No, let me ask a question. What led to that? Like, what happened? Because it's July. Why is he sounding like this in July?
I don't have an explanation for that bullshit. Like what? He was talking in circles the whole time. Like
he brought up his mother.
He ain't say
candy
nothing,
wrappers,
bro. Empty calories.
And candy wrappers. His mother.
Like, is it a report? Like, I get the feeling like some report about to come out of some shit. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, is he trying to get out ahead of some shit? Like, what's going on here?
Did Lamar go home sick the other day? Something happened.
Like, what's going on here? Like, something happened. Like, why are you giving a 5-minute thing about somebody? I can see that you did that his rookie year since you told MVP. What you talking about? Like, what you really saying? Hopefully it's not the Mark Slayer that he responded to. I don't know what the hell Harbaugh was. I really don't know what he was talking about
though. So yeah, I would assume I would hope that it's relevant to Mark, because otherwise it's just random as hell. And it sounded like he was trying to big himself up as much as big Lamar up, talking about the vision they had and so on and so forth.
Pouring into
him. Like, honestly, that is debatable. Like, saying that you hired Greg Roman to make him a glorified running back and barely let him throw the ball, so much so that, his throwing development was kind of held back. And it's the grace of his talent that has him, being able to do the things he does on the football field, and not the development of the organization. I mean, for years since 2020, maybe a year after the MVP season, we said, okay, maybe this offense is stagnant, and maybe it's time for a new scheme, a new philosophy on offense. That took bringing that new iteration he mentions took 2 or 3 seasons too long. So when we talk about Lamar's greatness, we could have been at a much greater standpoint by now if we would have made changes sooner. Soon as we made an offensive coordinator change, guess what? He won an MVP again. How does that happen, right? Like, oh my goodness, it's magic. You know, everybody had been asking Roman to get the hell out of here. As soon as we bring in another guy, he wins another MVP, and it was almost just as unanimous as the Roman MVP. And it's like, okay, so if you're pouring into him, what took so long? How many playoff losses did it take? And then when we bring in this new philosophy, we go too much into the new philosophy. All season, we had kind of played a balance, right? We're going to throw more, but we're also not going to abandon our run game because that's what makes us us, right? To great results. We were blowing out teams left and right. We get to the playoffs, we automatically try to morph into something that we hadn't exhibited during the regular season. We could throw the ball, but we're talking about throwing the ball every single play to the point where you only run the ball 6 times. So we're talking about pouring into Lamar. Is that pouring into Lamar completely abandoning the way that you played for 17 plus games over a course of a season to get to the biggest point of the season and completely abandon everything that you do well? Is that pouring into Lamar? It's pouring into Lamar, 2 first-round draft picks, right? Or 3, actually. Zay, Rashad, Marquise. 1 is gone. Rashad has been damn near gone. And Zay, he was a rookie, right? We've only had 1 year of him. I don't know if this is pouring into him, but I do like, I guess I'll end it with the positivity. I like how he's standing up for Lamar, so to speak, but I don't think Lamar's a make-a-wish kid at this point. With 2 MVPs, shit, we can take some criticism. We're going to be all right. We're going to be Hall of Famers regardless of what anybody says. We already stamped for Hall of Fame. Now it's just adding to our legacy. Maybe we do need to hear some criticism. We don't need to be coddled anymore. We need to win in the fucking playoffs. That's just my opinion on it, though.
Yeah, for me, this cool in 2019 for Hobbs to say, but 2024, like you say, 2-time MVP, Lamar's resume right now speaks for itself. Now, the only question you might have is his playoff success, but that's a work in progress, and that's something that they're really going to have to figure out as they progress through the season, because it's been the same script and same outcome every time they've been to the playoffs 3 out of the last 4 or 5 years. So that's where they have to pour into Lamar. You have to pour into your quarterback and make sure that he has a game plan and he's not in a game where he feels like he has to have a shootout with Pat Mahomes. That offense didn't have to go pass for pass with Mahomes in January. The offense was built to run the football. Now, maybe bringing in Derrick Henry helps them do that this year, but even still, they'll run Derrick Henry and get to January and do the same thing again. So I think the common denominator in all this is the coaching staff. It's Harbaugh. It always goes back to John Harbaugh. Like, it's you're not the savior in all of this. Lamar's the savior. He's the one who saved your job in 2019, if we're being honest. So all this rah-rah locker room talk that Harbaugh gave, like, I didn't heard that since I was in high
Coach
school.
better.
I'm a grown man now. Like, you got to win.
Coach
you got to
better.
win now. Like, all that sweet nonsense don't work no more.
I don't need Harbaugh. Man. I don't need Harbaugh taking up for Lamar. I need Harbaugh to look in the mirror. That's what I need him to do.
Yeah, Lamar can defend himself. Like Lamar can. He has on plenty of occasions come out and say, on Twitter, whether it's Lamar can defend himself. I don't need a bunch of fluff from Harbaugh in a secondary training camp. Like, I don't need that. Yes, I don't need none.
Like, it's not even. We ain't even had a Hall of Fame game yet.
Yeah, like, I
need none of that.
He said all that so we could forget that they could completely abandon the run game, and as the head coach,
they didn't double down on that all offseason.
No, they barely brought that up, and he knows it's his responsibility to be a game management. That's what you do, right? You let your OCs be OCs, your DCs be DCs, but in the flow of that, you got to manage. So if you notice something on offense, hey, OC, I'm letting you call your game. But as the head coach, I would like to see us run the ball more. Yeah, that's what you do. You ain't asked to draw nothing up. You ain't asked to develop nobody. You was literally there for the vibes, right? To make sure people not getting in trouble, make sure people head is in it, right? Make sure they're prepared, and to make sure that you manage the way things are going throughout the game. That's what your job is.
Prepared though. He wasn't prepared. He was doing all that dancing after they beat Houston in the divisionals. I didn't forget that. Yeah, dancing in the divisionals. Like, come on now.
He did Lamar.
That's not what this town is. That's not what we based off of. We don't play for AFC title games. We trying to win Super Bowls.
It's hilarious. You mentioned Derrick Henry. I wanted to.
Hey, yo, Nitty Gritty Sports Talk is now on YouTube. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And while you at it, follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Name the same across all platforms. Nitty Gritty Sports Talk. 3 Ravens and a Steeler. Now let's get back to the show.